Mass Effect is the highly anticipated next installment in the critically acclaimed sci-fi RPG series, continuing the epic saga of humanity's place in a galaxy filled with complex alien civilizations, intergalactic warfare, and ancient mysteries. The game takes place after the events of Mass Effect Andromeda, as the series returns to the Milky Way galaxy. Players once again assume the role of a commander, with the story exploring new threats, political intrigue, and the consequences of the decisions made in previous games. In Mass Effect, the galaxy is recovering from the aftermath of the Reaper invasion and the chaos that followed. New alliances and factions have formed, while old ones are struggling to survive in a fractured galaxy. The game introduces fresh faces, new alien species, and new storylines, while also bringing back familiar characters and settings, ensuring continuity with the previous games. Pragmata is an upcoming action-adventure game developed by Capcom, set in a dystopian future where technology and human survival collide in mysterious ways. The game promises a unique blend of science fiction, philosophical themes, and emotional storytelling. Set on the moon, the game follows an unnamed protagonist, a mysterious man in a spacesuit who must navigate a world of strange phenomena and dangerous environments, with a young girl playing a key role in the story. The game's premise revolves around the protagonist's relationship with this girl and the exploration of a futuristic world where technology, artificial intelligence, and human life intersect. The setting is a post-apocalyptic vision of the future, where the Earth and its inhabitants face unimaginable challenges. The player must solve complex puzzles, explore the vast atmospheric landscapes, and uncover the truth behind the apocalyptic event that shapes the world. The Elder Scrolls 6 is the highly anticipated next installment in Bethesda's iconic open-world RPG series. Set in the rich, expansive world of Tamriel, the game promises to continue the tradition of immersive storytelling, deep lore, and vast exploration. While details about the game remain scarce, it is expected to take place in a completely new region of Tamriel, offering players fresh environments, cultures, and challenges. The Elder Scrolls series is known for its ability to create sprawling, open worlds filled with intricate quests, complex characters, and meaningful choices. In The Elder Scrolls 6, players will once again create their own character, choosing from a variety of races and classes, each with unique abilities and characteristics. As the story unfolds, players will navigate a dynamic, ever-changing world filled with factions, political intrigue, and the supernatural, while determining the fate of the land. Kingdom Come. Deliverance 2 is the highly anticipated sequel to the critically acclaimed open-world RPG Kingdom Come: Deliverance, developed by Warhorse Studios. Building on the success of its predecessor, the game promises to offer an even more immersive and historically accurate medieval experience, set in the 15th century Kingdom of Bohemia, a period of political turmoil, war, and intrigue. In Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2, players will once again assume the role of a protagonist caught in the midst of historical events. The story is expected to continue exploring the themes of war, social class, and survival, while introducing new characters, factions, and challenges. Much like the first game, the narrative is set within a vast, detailed world, where the player's choices and actions can significantly shape the outcome of the story. The game retains the series' commitment to historical authenticity, featuring realistic depictions of medieval life, from architecture and clothing to combat techniques and weapons.
I like that boy already.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The Last Ronin is an action-adventure game based on the critically acclaimed comic series of the same name. Set in a dark, dystopian future, the game follows the last surviving Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle as he seeks revenge against those responsible for the fall of his brothers and the destruction of their world. With a unique narrative twist, the game explores themes of loss, grief, and redemption, set against a grim version of New York City. The protagonist, only remaining turtle, is armed with a mix of traditional weapons, including his brother's iconic gear, and a deep desire for justice. The story is deeply emotional, revealing how the TMNT world has changed after the tragic events that decimated their team. The game's narrative focuses on the lone turtle's quest for vengeance, while also exploring his internal struggle with the burden of being the last of his kind. Avowed is an upcoming first-person fantasy role-playing game RPG developed by Obsidian Entertainment set in the world of Eora, the same universe as the developers' critically acclaimed Pillars of Eternity series. The game immerses players in a richly detailed world filled with magic, political intrigue, ancient ruins, and dangerous creatures. As a first-person RPG, Avowed promises a deep, narrative-driven experience with an emphasis on exploration, choice, and combat. In Avowed, players assume the role of a customizable protagonist who is thrust into a world on the brink of conflict. The game's story revolves around the player's journey through the kingdom of Eora, where they will uncover secrets about a powerful ancient order, encounter various factions, and make decisions that shape the fate of the realm. The plot explores themes of power, betrayal, and the consequences of the protagonist's actions in a world full of magic and political strife. Killing Floor 3 is the latest installment in the popular co-op first-person shooter series developed by Tripwire Interactive. Building on the foundations of its predecessors, the game continues the fight against horrific mutated creatures known as Zeds in intense, fast-paced and highly engaging combat. Set in a post-apocalyptic world, Killing Floor 3 takes players into dark, atmospheric environments where survival depends on teamwork, strategy, and sheer firepower. In Killing Floor 3, players once again band together in teams to face waves of increasingly brutal enemies. The Zeds, genetically engineered creatures, have overrun the world and players must fight to survive against relentless hordes. The game features a wide variety of Zed types, each with unique abilities and attacks, requiring players to adapt and coordinate their strategies to overcome the growing threats. Black State is a gripping first-person survival horror game that plunges players into a mysterious and eerie world filled with dark secrets and dangerous truths. The game follows a team of secret scientists known as the Architects who have summoned you for a covert mission. Your task is to rescue prisoners and uncover the truth behind a catastrophic event, but the deeper you go, the more you realize that not everything is as it seems. No one knows what lies behind the locked doors, and as the story unfolds, you will discover terrifying secrets that challenge everything you thought you knew. Set in a secluded, high-tech facility, Black State creates a tense atmosphere of dread, where every step you take could lead to new dangers. The facility, with its sterile and decaying environments, is filled with strange technologies, encrypted messages, and unsettling occurrences that hint at a dark past. Sniper Elite Resistance is a tactical third-person shooter set in World War II, where players take on the role of a skilled resistance fighter working to disrupt Nazi operations behind enemy lines. Developed by Rebellion, the game combines the stealth and precision shooting mechanics that the Sniper Elite series is known for, with an expanded focus on guerrilla warfare and sabotage in a dynamic open-world environment. The game's story follows a lone sniper working with local resistance groups in occupied Europe. Tasked with sabotaging Nazi plans and undermining their war effort, players must carry out a series of high-stakes missions, including assassination, espionage, and the destruction of vital infrastructure. The campaign emphasizes stealth and strategy, with the player needing to carefully plan their actions, use the environment to their advantage, and avoid detection by enemy forces. Little Nightmares 3 is the latest entry in the critically acclaimed Little Nightmares series, offering a fresh, eerie, and suspenseful experience set in a dark, twisted world. Developed by Tarsier Studios, this installment continues the franchise's trademark blend of atmospheric horror, unsettling puzzles, and haunting storytelling. It introduces new characters and environments, while maintaining the eerie, side-scrolling platforming mechanics that fans have come to love. Set in a nightmarish world, filled with grotesque creatures and distorted realities, Little Nightmares 3 follows two new protagonists, a young girl named Layla and a mysterious boy named Theo, who must navigate a series of increasingly dangerous and bizarre environments. Unlike previous games, this time players can control both characters, either individually or cooperatively with another player. Rooted is an open-world survival game that combines exploration, resource management, and crafting in a post-apocalyptic world. Developed by the studio Caffeinated Games, the game immerses players in a world where humanity is on the brink of extinction and nature has begun to reclaim urban environments. Set in a vast, lush world, Rooted challenges players to survive in an ecosystem that is both beautiful and dangerous, with a heavy emphasis on environmental storytelling and the struggle to adapt to a collapsing world. The game's story is set in a future where environmental collapse and societal breakdown have left only a few survivors. Players take on the role of one of these survivors, trying to rebuild society and navigate a world overtaken by nature. The ruins of cities are now overrun by plants, wildlife, and the remnants of human civilization, and players must learn to thrive in this wild and unpredictable new environment.
Deployed autonomous civilian security robots. They are here to protect you.
The Grass of Genesis is an upcoming adventure action game inspired by the iconic Tomb Raider series, offering a thrilling exploration-based experience set in a rich and immersive world. The game is designed with cutting-edge cloud technology, allowing it to run on low-end hardware as long as players have a stable and fast internet connection. Leveraging cloud gaming, The Grass of Genesis removes the need for high-performance hardware, providing an accessible yet visually impressive gaming experience through real-time gameplay rendering. Set in a mysterious and ancient world, The Grass of Genesis follows the journey of a skilled adventurer as they explore overgrown ruins, ancient temples, and hidden landscapes filled with secrets. The protagonist is on a quest to uncover the origins of a long-forgotten civilization, navigating dangerous traps, solving intricate puzzles, and battling formidable enemies along the way. Kemuri is an action-packed supernatural hunting game where players take on the role of demon hunters known as yokai keepers, who are tasked with protecting a city from malevolent spirits and maintaining the balance between the human world and the supernatural realm. Set in a vibrant world that blends traditional Japanese folklore with modern culture, anime aesthetics, and international influences, Kemuri creates a rich, dynamic universe where supernatural wonders exist beyond the comprehension of ordinary people. The world of Kemuri is teeming with spirits, demons, and other mystical mythological entities, many of which are inspired by yokai, creatures from Japanese mythology. Players must track down and battle these supernatural beings, confronting not only their physical threats but also deep existential themes and moral dilemmas. The narrative explores the complex relationships between humans and spirits, questioning the nature of good and evil, and forcing hunters to make difficult choices in the line of duty. Digested is a gripping bodycam style survival horror game where players must evade a terrifying giant snake that is relentlessly hunting them. Set in a vast perilous environment, the game puts you in the shoes of a lone survivor equipped with a bodycam, offering an immersive first-person perspective as you struggle to survive against overwhelming odds. Your primary goal is to escape the deadly serpent, utilizing various tools, abilities, and your wits to formulate an escape strategy before you're consumed. The game's core mechanics revolve around navigation, stealth, and strategy. Players must make their way through an expansive and unfamiliar landscape filled with dense forests, abandoned structures, and other ominous terrain. As you explore, you'll need to carefully use the environment to your advantage, staying hidden from the snake while searching for supplies, weapons, and tools that will aid in your survival. The Sinking City 2 is the highly anticipated sequel to the critically acclaimed detective horror game The Sinking City. Set in a dark atmospheric world inspired by the works of H.P. Lovecraft, the game continues the story of Charles Reed, a private investigator in the decaying city of Oakmont, which is plagued by strange supernatural forces, disturbing visions, and a creeping madness that threatens to consume both the city and its inhabitants. In The Sinking City 2, players once again take on the role of Charles Reed, who returns to Oakmont after receiving a cryptic message tied to the mysterious events and horrors that plagued the city in the first game. The game features an open-world environment filled with eerie, haunting locations that reflect the city's crumbling state. Players will once again explore the dark, flooded streets, navigate through twisted alleyways, and enter sinister buildings that hold key clues to solving the mystery of Oakmont's descent into chaos. Doom: The Dark Ages is an exciting new chapter in the legendary Doom franchise, offering a fresh and brutal take on the classic first-person shooter series. Set in an alternate history where demonic forces have overrun medieval Europe, the game blends the fast-paced action and chaotic combat that Doom is known for with a dark fantasy setting. Players take on the role of a lone warrior, the last hope for humanity, tasked with vanquishing ancient and powerful demons that have invaded the world during a time of knights, castles, and sorcery. The game's setting is a grim medieval world that is plagued by otherworldly horrors. Once peaceful towns and sprawling kingdoms have been overrun by demons, and the survivors live in fear of the nightmarish creatures that roam the land. Players must journey through desolate landscapes, abandoned fortresses, and eerie, monster-infested dungeons to uncover the secrets behind the demonic invasion and put an end to it. Atomfall is a post-apocalyptic survival action game set in the aftermath of a devastating nuclear disaster that has left much of Britain in ruins. The game takes place in an open world where players are thrust into a harsh, irradiated environment, forcing them to navigate through the wreckage of a once thriving country. As survivors of the disaster, players must explore, scavenge, craft, barter, and fight their way through a world filled with danger, both human and environmental, in search of answers about the catastrophe that shattered their world. The setting of Atomfall is a beautifully recreated version of a decimated Britain where landmarks, cities, and towns are either destroyed or unrecognizable. The landscape is littered with remnants of civilization, from crumbling buildings and abandoned vehicles to irradiated wastelands and overgrown forests.
Threat detected.
Wonder Woman is an action-adventure game that follows the iconic DC superhero on an epic journey to protect the world from powerful threats. Players take on the role of Diana Prince, also known as Wonder Woman, using her superhuman strength, agility, and combat skills to fight evil forces and uncover hidden secrets about her origins. Set in the rich DC universe, the game combines thrilling action with deep storytelling, allowing players to explore both mythical and modern settings. The game's narrative is centered around Wonder Woman's quest to defend humanity from an ancient, powerful enemy, threatening to plunge the world into chaos. As the Amazonian princess, players must confront formidable foes, including mythological creatures, ruthless warlords, and dark forces seeking to manipulate the world's fate. The story explores Diana's inner struggle between her duty as an Amazon and her commitment to the human world, touching on themes of justice, power, and sacrifice. Fable is an action role-playing game that invites players to experience a richly detailed and dynamic fantasy world, where every choice shapes the character's destiny. Set in the mythical land of Albion, a land filled with magic, mythical creatures, and medieval landscapes, the game follows the life of a hero whose actions can either bring prosperity or destruction to the world around them. The story begins with a young protagonist who, after the tragic loss of their family, embarks on a journey to find purpose, seeking to rise from humble beginnings to become a legendary hero or a feared villain. The core of Fable is its open-world exploration, where players can roam freely through villages, forests, towns, and dungeons, interacting with various NPCs, discovering secrets, and completing quests. The game's world is fully interactive, with a day-night cycle and changing seasons that influence gameplay and events. The Wolf, Among Us 2, a Telltale series, is the highly anticipated sequel to the critically acclaimed 2013 adventure game set in the dark and gritty world of Fables, a comic book series created by Bill Willingham. This narrative-driven adventure game continues the story of Bigby Wolf, the hard-boiled, reformed Big Bad Wolf who serves as the sheriff of Fabletown, a hidden community of fairy tale characters living in secret in New York City. Set several years after the events of the original game, The Wolf Among Us 2 delves deeper into the complicated, morally grey world of Fabletown, where magic, corruption, and danger are ever present. The game's plot picks up with Bigby trying to maintain order in Fabletown, despite the tension between the magical beings and the human world. Players once again take on the role of Bigby as he navigates a new mystery filled with crime, intrigue, and the ever-present threat of the Fables' secrets being exposed to the outside world.
How does the anger manifest itself?
Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is an atmospheric, narrative-driven adventure game that takes players on a mysterious and haunting journey into the unknown. Set in a world where light and shadow play pivotal roles, the game follows a group of explorers on an expedition to uncover the secrets of a forgotten land. As the players venture through treacherous environments, they must solve puzzles, face unseen dangers, and navigate the shifting dynamics of the environment, all while uncovering the truth behind the mysterious Expedition 33. The story revolves around a group of explorers who embark on a mission to investigate a distant and enigmatic region that has remained unexplored for centuries. As they venture deeper into the heart of the unknown, they encounter strange phenomena, ancient ruins, and otherworldly entities, all while grappling with their own fears and personal conflicts.
May everything be decided
Before their very eyes
between the bars,
of their prison,
in the shadow
of the monolith.
See you in the next life.
Alkahest is an action-adventure RPG set in a grim and immersive medieval world, where magic, alchemy, and dangerous creatures coexist. The game follows the journey of a young hero determined to restore honor to their family by mastering the ancient art of alchemy and navigating the perilous world around them. Players are tasked with exploring desolate castles, haunted forests, and forgotten ruins while engaging in dynamic combat, solving environmental puzzles, and uncovering hidden secrets. The core of Alkahest is its combat system, which allows players to use the environment environment to their advantage. Players can interact with various elements in the world, such as explosive barrels, collapsing bridges, and ancient traps, to strategically defeat enemies or gain the upper hand in battle. This blend of action and environmental manipulation creates a unique gameplay experience that encourages creativity in combat. Borderlands 4 is the latest installment in the highly popular and chaotic first-person shooter series developed by Gearbox Software. Set in the same outrageous, cel-shaded universe, the game continues the franchise's signature blend of humor, fast-paced combat, and loot-driven gameplay. Players are once again thrust into the dangerous post-apocalyptic world of Pandora, where they will encounter new characters, wild environments, and a variety of strange enemies. The game introduces fresh protagonists, each with unique abilities and new locations to explore, along with an expanded story that builds on the ongoing saga of the Vault Hunters. At the heart of Borderlands 4 is the franchise's iconic looter-shooter mechanics. Players can choose from a variety of characters, each with their own skill trees, personality, and combat style. Permafrost is a survival game set in the frozen wasteland of 2035, where a cataclysmic event has left the Earth in a state of perpetual winter. This harsh new reality, known as the Eternal Frost, is a desolate, ice-covered world where humanity is on the brink of extinction. Now, the game's central theme revolves around survival in extreme conditions, exploring the remains of civilization, and scavenging for vital resources in an unforgiving landscape. In Permafrost, players must adapt to the brutal cold, navigate the barren terrain, and make tough decisions to stay alive. Resources are scarce and must be carefully managed to ensure survival. Players can hunt rare animals for food, gather essential materials, and craft tools necessary for staying alive in the freezing wilderness. Survival is not just about physical endurance. Players must also maintain mental resilience as they face isolation and the constant threat of death from the environment or other survivors.
Now on Steam.
Regeneration is a third-person survival horror game that places players in the shoes of a scientist trapped in a mysterious and hostile environment. As the protagonist, you are isolated from the outside world, forced to navigate an unsettling, abnormal world filled with strange creatures and dark secrets. The game blends psychological horror, exploration, and combat, creating an intense and atmospheric experience where every corner hides a new danger. The setting of Regeneration is one of eerie desolation, with abandoned research facilities, twisted laboratories, and decaying structures. The environments are both claustrophobic and expansive, designed to evoke a sense of isolation and helplessness. As you explore, you'll uncover disturbing remnants of the experiments that led to the world's current state, piecing together a narrative through notes, recordings, and environmental storytelling. The central narrative revolves around the aftermath of a catastrophic experiment gone wrong.
Kate, please. Forgive me.
Tormented Souls 2 is the highly anticipated sequel to the acclaimed survival horror game, following the harrowing journey of Caroline Walker. After her terrifying experiences in the first game, Caroline returns to face a new wave of nightmares in her quest to save her cursed sister. Set in a chilling world filled with malevolent forces, Tormented Souls 2 once again combines intense survival horror with atmospheric exploration, grotesque creatures, and cryptic puzzles. The story picks up as Caroline embarks on a perilous mission to find and rescue her sister, who has been cursed and trapped in a series of sinister locations. This time, the game expands on its predecessor's haunting environments by introducing new, equally disturbing settings such as abandoned monasteries, decrepit hospitals, and desolate villages. Each area is drenched in a sense of dread, with dark, decaying architecture and eerie sounds that keep players on edge. The Midnight Walkers is a psychological horror game that blends suspense, mystery, and supernatural elements into an unsettling journey through a world plagued by dark secrets. Players take on the role of a protagonist who finds themselves trapped in a haunting, decaying town under the cover of night. As the title suggests, the game revolves around the ominous presence of the Midnight Walkers, mysterious entities that emerge after sundown, hunting anyone unlucky enough to be caught in their path. The story follows a character who, after a personal tragedy, finds themselves drawn to the eerie town of Alderman's Hollow, a place known for its strange occurrences and sinister past. The protagonist begins to uncover unsettling clues about the town's history, the people who once lived there, and the strange phenomena that seem to happen every night. Unrecord is an innovative first-person tactical shooter that immerses players in a gripping cinematic experience using a bodycam perspective. Set in a gritty, hyper-realistic world, the game places you in the shoes of a police officer navigating dangerous urban environments while responding to high-stakes situations. The game's unique visual style, captured through a bodycam, offers an unparalleled level of realism and immersion, making players feel as though they are part of a real-life law enforcement operation. The gameplay revolves around intense tactical combat, stealth, and strategy. Players must carefully assess each situation, balancing aggression with caution as they encounter various threats. The bodycam perspective enhances the realism, providing a first-hand view of the action, with the camera shaking and tilting as players move and engage enemies. This perspective adds to the tension, as every corner turned and every step forward feels life-threatening.
Where the fuck is Oscar?